What is up, everybody? It has been a long time since I've done a full plant tour, and because the weather is getting cold, even though you can tell it's a nice, bright, sunny day, the fall temperatures are really setting in, and a lot of these plants, they need to be brought inside. So I'm gonna do a full walking tour, try to make this as painless as possible, but I just wanna show you just how many awesome plants I have inside my house now. Starting to get the jungle feel back, as these were mostly outside all summer long. So let's go ahead and get started. This is just your standard philodendron micans, along with a dark leaf, the burgundy leaf rubber tree, which is pretty sweet. This thing is actually massive. Had to cut it back a few times. Got some aloes back here. There's a couple of different varieties. Excuse the leaves here. This is actually in flower, so that's be kind of cool to see how that works. You can kind of tell back here. This is the climbing aloe, which is one of my new favorite plants, so that's pretty sweet. More of the same aloe here is a Madagascar palm, and that light is just perfect, guys. So there's another climbing aloe. This is actually a top cutting from the other plant there, and it's doing quite well. So if you've never seen a climbing aloe, recommend it. I can show you later on in another video I'm going to do, but sneak preview. If you kind of cut this and remove the top of it, it'll start putting out a lot of little suckers at the bottom. It turns into more like a bush. Pretty sweet. This little string of pickles, I've seen some people call it, this red purple streaked succulent plant. Totally cool. Some more aloe, and this jagged feature here, I think it's pretty cool. I like that a lot, and it's putting on a lot of little pups down there, which will be propagating this winter time. There's a little Peperomia Watermelon, I believe it is, right down in there. Okay, just some more succulents right here. Kind of trying to prune them for like a little cascading effect. Not really a bonsai project, but just kind of pruning it to a little form like that. It looks pretty neat. Now this is the pink lady, I believe. The Kalanchoe, it's sterile hybrid, it's supposed to be. So typical Kalanchoe, mother of thousands and millions. These little pups here will actually fall off and propagate new plants. But I think this one is actually sterile because it's a hybrid, so you can't really propagate it that way, but I can show you how to propagate it through actual leaf and stem cuttings. If you want that, leave me a comment down below. Right here. Now this is just the philodendron brandiantum or brandiatum, or just shorten it to philodendron brandy. But yeah, these really cool pattern on these leaves. Really like this. And this is growing up. It kind of outgrew its moss pole down here, and it's just basically I stuck a piece of bamboo. And I eventually had to do a top cutting on this because it just ran out of space. But look up there, guys, it is actually starting to sprout again, a new growth leader. So I don't know, these things just take off, and it's what it is. Moving over here to this shelf, now this gets a little bit less of the sunlight, so it's kind of more my shade-loving plants. Now this is actually a syngonium that grew from seed. It's doing all right. It got a little bit of, I think it's where it's adjusting to being inside a little lower light. Some of the leaves are kind of not looking so awesome, but it's definitely healthy. It's going to do just fine. Here's the Cebu blue, it's the Peperomia. Here's another pothos. Yep, this one here. Over here, just the philodendron Brazil. Now this is, I believe, a Thaumatophyllum. I probably said that wrong, but it's relative of the philodendron, but maybe a different subspecies. I'm not sure how they really classify it. It is not doing well. It actually has never been doing well, whatever, since I got it. So it may actually not make it this winter, but I'll let you know. There's a Hoya. Got that as a little guy. It grew ginormous long branches, but then they got covered in aphids, so I had to chop it way back. But it's recovering nicely. Now down here, this is brought inside. This is the Amazon lily. I made a short this summer about the flowers on it. It's very short-lived, highly fragrant. It's a very, apparently it's very difficult to get this plant to bloom, but it blooms for me every year. So whatever I'm doing, yeah, I must be doing something right. This is just a ZZ plant here, and it got a little bit burned on the leaves, but it'll be just fine. Now this right here is one of my favorite plants, and I just did a recent video on this. This is my Nepenthes, or pitcher plant, people call them, even though the true pitcher plant is really not even related or the same thing, or even from the same continent for that matter. However, here we go. Now I just pruned this thing up so it's really fresh. I got all the old growth off. Look in here, nice little pitchers forming. You can get really open up this this canopy here. It gets a lot of light, will actually be able to penetrate through and stimulate more of a bushier habitat, so you doesn't get this long crazy vine, kind of like right here. This grew outside, like I mentioned, and I brought it back in, but this vine was super long, super long. Is that gonna focus? There we go. But yeah, see all these new growth points right here? It's gonna do fine, recover nicely. Now this little propagation tent, humidity tent, whatever you want to call it, last winter it was completely filled to the max with plants I was propagating. And you can tell right now there's really nothing in here, as a lot of plants are actually sold. So people don't know, I actually have my LLC now, starting a greenhouse and it's like a plant business. So a lot of these cuttings were actually sold. So now I have all winter long to basically propagate all my other plants and just to, you know, just fill this thing back up and hopefully by spring have another stockpile of merchandise to sell to you guys. So over here, sorry about, oh, this is just hard to navigate this, this jungle, but here we go. So start at the top, just some orchids. Now I've never been good at growing orchids, and you know, these were just bought from the grocery store. I think one was actually gonna be thrown out. They're really healthy. I mean, they're very healthy. Check out these crazy looking roots coming right at you, right? So the plant's very healthy. Hopefully it will bloom. I guess you gotta have some special things to make it rebloom. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool how they just kind of hang from the window space. And yes, it is a plastic red cup. All right, so this is the Peperomia Hope. It's pretty neat, kind of trailing down like that. It does great in this windowsill. Don't water it very often. Actually, you guys, too much water is actually bad for it. So it gets full sun in this window, keeps it dried out. It loves it. Now this is another one of my favorite plants. This is the Philodendron Bloody Mary. And just look how dark these leaves are. It is so cool. But this thing, these leaves, guys, these things are starting to become massive leaves. So I really hate to cut this thing back because it's so beautiful, but I'm gonna run out of room eventually. But I might need to find some more poles to kind of add to this right here. But yeah, so another amazing plant. This won't really get into. I think it's called like a leopard plant or something like that. Supposed to have flowers on it, but it's been battling aphids for a long time. I think I finally have won the battle, but we will see. This is the Mandarin Orange, or some people call it like orange splash or something like that, but this is actually a relative of a spider plant. So that's pretty cool. This right here is just a Philodendron Burl Marks. And this is so big that it's literally falling over, so top heavy. But this weird looking, look at this gnarly looking stem. I don't know why or how it's doing that, but that's just begging to be divided and propagated, and which will go back into right here, like I mentioned. So the cycle will continue. Here's just some succulents down here, guys. This is another Peperomia, pretty cool looking. Another Peperomia, I forget the name of a lot of these things, guys. So if you need to specify something, let me know in the comments. I'll look it up and get you the right information. Yet another Peperomia, the obtusifolia. I love saying that. It's like a false rubber tree, variegated, pretty neat. And this is another Peperomia, the watermelon Peperomia. So awesome, looks like a watermelon rind, doesn't it? Just your standard spider plants, just a dark green one, and this is just the variegated right here. So let me go ahead and pause, take you to another location. All right, so these are some of my spider plants. This is a moon glow, I think. I said spider plants, snake plants. This is your standard one you've seen 1,000 times. This is the moon glow or something like that. That's pretty neat. Now this is a right here. This is the put myself on the spot. I'll think of it. It's an African violet relative. It has nice little purple flowers on it. I've done some videos on it before. Streptocarpella, so I knew I'd figure it out. All right, so this is an experiment this year. I'm going to try to overwinter some of these coleus. My grandma's done it for years, so I'm going to try to pinch it back and make it in this nice little bush form. Then I'll be able to take it back outside in the summertime. That's the goal. Here's another variegated Peperomia. Nice little vine. Does quite well in this little corner. Some more snake plants. And this is the inch plant, variegated. It has other words, other names if you want to look that up. But that's really quick on there. Let me show you another plant. And yet again, here in this little living room area, it's got a little lamp over it, so it gets some light in the evening time. But this little window gets indirect light, so these plants are loving it. This little arrowhead vine or syngonium. You've all seen this, really awesome, really common plant. Now this is I think I have the tag right here. What is this? Mandula pothos. So that's pretty cool. Just your standard philodendron. Some more coleus I'm trying to just kind of propagate back there. Some more of the Peperomia. And this is the Henii, something like that. This is like kind of a dwarf compact other snake plants, so that's pretty interesting. So the tour continues upstairs. Sorry, almost forgot these. Another aloe, ponytail palm, and a Hoya. This is the Hindu rope variety. Now we're really going upstairs. All right, so now we're in the upstairs plant room. Sorry if there's an echo. I just turned the humidifier off. It was like a cloud in here. This is my more of the tropical, like humid area, so I keep a lot of propagations. You'll see this is just your standard Christmas cactus. I grew that from like a little leaf cutting from my grandma years ago. These are actually Alocasia silver dragon. The corms are planted. Of course, there's nothing growing yet. But here's another Alocasia. Now this is a supposed to be a free deck, but I got this in the mail and it was not doing very, very good at all. So I don't know, hopefully it will grow. Now this here, these are those, remember I showed you the orange stem spider plant relative? Yeah, these are little seeds that actually sprouted from it. So I'm gonna propagate that. That's pretty neat. Now right here is another division I made of this, the Alocasia, like the black mask or something like that. African mask, I think it's called. So that was propagated and divided into several different containers of plants here. I have a miniature monstera or mini monstera, and just in here some Christmas cactus propagations. And if you see back there is a really, really, really sad Philodendron gloriosum. I feel bad about that plant, so I don't know what I've done wrong, but I don't know. Sometimes you just can't win them all. So this shelf here is mostly peperomias. This is a gravolens or something like that. It's supposed to be pretty rare actually in the wild. It's been over harvested. Another, now I don't know all the names of these, but these are all peperomias. This one, I don't know, I think I need to cut this back. It's those little long flower stems, gets all straggly. I don't really like it. Here's some more peperomias that I propagated, and some more and more and more. Now these are the Lithops living stones. They're from South Africa. Pretty neat. So I've never grown these before. I've always wanted to try. So hopefully I can get these to bloom, but there's a really specific watering schedule. So hopefully I don't screw it up. Grew these little cacti here from seed. You can see there's only a couple that actually sprouted. The seeds I got were super old, so that the fact that anything germinated at all is pretty neat. Some more of those little Mandarin Orange spider plant babies coming up there. Now this is where you get into some of my more newer plants. Now this is a euphorbia. This is just a little succulents in here, guys. You see what it is. This is another aloe. There's another euphorbia in the back there. That is actually pretty cool looking, honestly. This is some more little succulent stuff here. I like this. It's like little fingers poking out. I'm trying to propagate some string of hearts back there. I showed those in a recent video. Check that one out. Now this is Alocasia red mamba. These are, you can't really tell, it doesn't give really justice with this camera, but there's little like red veins in it, which is pretty neat. And this is the Alocasia Mellow, or I think dragon skin they call it sometimes. That's pretty neat. Might be getting too much sunlight in here, quite honestly. I probably should move it. And again, this is some people like dinosaur bones or the skeleton cactus. I think that thing's just wicked looking, so it's cool. Another Alocasia. These are some divisions I made. Just some more succulents. Another peperomia that is massive. Another euphorbia in the back there. And this little crown of thorns. Got it. It was almost dead, a little dead stick, but it's coming back to life and actually putting on flowers. That's pretty neat. And some little aloe pups I propagated from ones you've seen previously. Now, let's go ahead and try to wrap this up before we get way too long-winded. But this is just sorry, too much talking. All right, so anyways, these are some aglaonemia, propagating these here. Some more other plants back here, some philodendron Perizo verdes. Here are some more syngoniums up here. I'm just trying to wrap this up, guys. I know it's getting really, really long, but here's my idea. I've showed you guys this before. If you haven't seen it, here you go. This is an old, massive, like 55-gallon fish tank, put grow lights in it. This end has a light that is like a low UV light. So I got the philodendrons down here, which is awesome variegation, by the way. It's pretty neat. Down here it gets the full sunlight, so it gets more of the brighter light requirement for the plants. And here is actually my baobab tree that grew from seed. Check that video out if you want. And this little repurposed pickle jar, I'm actually trying to propagate some new the Nepenthes, the pitcher plants, in this little thing. So they need a really high humid environment. Hopefully this is going to work. And this right here is the first possible bloom that this guy's putting out, which I cannot wait for that to come out. I will definitely keep you updated on that. So hopefully this crazy plant tour did not take too long or bore you too much, but like I said, anything you want to know about more in-depth or detailed, or just like specific plant profile or growing tips, let me know and I'll be surely ready to put that content out for you guys. All right, so hope you liked it. Give it a thumbs up and I'll see you next time here at the Hillside Gardens, guys. Bye-bye.